Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Canadian Car Review Show. Today we have a 2015 Subaru WRX STI equipped with both the sport and technology trim levels at Bud Subaru. If you're in the market for a vehicle that is exceptionally fast on and off roads and can track like no other vehicle in its segment, the WRX STI would be the first pick for most car enthusiasts. Subaru's STI platform has proven itself time and time again as a renowned world leader in all-wheel drive performance and has an excellent reputation in World Rally challenges. New for the 2015 is a body style refresh along with some refinements in ride quality. The car maintains the same mechanical components, preserving the reliability and performance of the vehicle. The STI platform is equipped with an aerodynamic front bumper that has an integrated nose cone and underspoiler to help improve chassis performance. Complementing the front bumper is Subaru's unique functional aluminum hood and its large hood scoop that supplies air to the high-capacity intercooler that sits on top of the engine. Automatic on-off, low-beam LED projector lights and halogen reflective high beams are standard equipment on the WRX STI. Fog lights are also included, along with the black stainless steel grille that has a mesh pattern and includes the Subaru emblem and STI logo. 18-inch BBS forged aluminum alloy rims with a high luster finish fills the wheel wells and is mounted with Dunlop SP Sport Max RT tires. The front fenders on the side of the vehicle are wide and equipped with functional cooling vents and include STI badging around the area. The door mirrors have LED turn signals and are color matched with the body paint. The lower side moldings of the vehicle have a unique design that complements the front appearance of the vehicle and continues to provide aerodynamic enhancements. The rear bumper is equipped with an underbody aerodynamic diffuser and is wrapped around a high-performance quad-tip stainless steel exhaust system. The rear trunk lid has a high-profile spoiler that is 8 mm higher than the last generation model to improve rear window visibility. The Subaru emblem, symmetrical all-wheel drive, WRX, and STI badges are all included on the rear trunk lid. The vehicle's body is made from dual-sided galvanized steel and has been treated with an anti-corrosion treatment. The structure of the vehicle is made from an advanced ring-shaped reinforcement frame that also has dual-side impact door beams to complete the overall safety compliance of the vehicle. Because of this design, the frame is 40% more rigid than the outgoing model, improving vehicle controllability in corners and optimizing the efficiency of the all-wheel drive system. The braking system uses 4-piston Brembo brake calipers in the front and 2-piston brake calipers in the rear that have been branded by STI. Active torque vectoring, power-assisted dual diagonal system, Super Sport ABS with 4-channel 4-sensor 4-wheel and G-load sensors, electronic brake force distribution, and brake assist are all standard braking features on the WRX STI. New for the 2015 is a brake override feature that can be activated to avoid unintended acceleration if both the brake and the accelerator pedals are pressed at the same time. If you are the car enthusiast that demands more power from the Boxer engine, there are some tuning options available for the new WRX STI. Check out our website for more information pertaining to the aftermarket tuning. The suspension is a 4-wheel fully independent system that has been tuned by STI Performance and consists of front and rear stabilizer bars that have been increased in size. The front end uses a McPherson type inverted KYB strut with forged aluminum lower suspension arms and a double wishbone setup in the rear. The track tuned suspension has been refreshed with rigid pillow ball bushings, an increased spring rate, and additional subframe supports compared to the outgoing model. This setup has reduced body roll by 16% and has increased lateral acceleration by 7%. The STI is powered by Subaru's 2.5-liter dual overhead cam turbocharged and intercooled Boxer engine that produces 305 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 290 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. The turbo's maximum boost pressure is set at 14.7 psi and requires a minimum octane level of fuel of 91. The engine uses a sequential multi-port fuel injection system and has an engine oil cooler as standard equipment. A red powder-coated intake manifold distinguishes the WRX STI model from all other trims. The engine is mounted to a close ratio 6-speed manual transmission with hill holder assist and can achieve a 0 to 60 time of 4.9 seconds at a top speed of 264 km an hour. The transmission is fully synchronized, including the reverse gear, and is hydraulically operated with a dry single-plate disc clutch. Subaru's full-time symmetrical all-wheel drive system, a helical-type limited-slip front differential, a cam-type mechanical limited-slip center differential, and a Torsen limited-slip rear differential work together to provide the ultimate performance of the WRX STI.
turn the wheel the opposite way.
The driver's door is equipped with a keyless access entry system, and on the inside of the door is made from soft touch materials including leather trimming. You also get power windows, door locks, and side mirrors as standard equipment. There's also a Harman Kardon surround sound system and a cubby hole in the door. The dash is made of a one-piece design and includes STI badging throughout the interior. You also have a flat bottom steering wheel, red stitching, and carbon fiber trim. The front bucket seats are custom to the STI and have red leather trim inserts built into them. You also have the stitching pattern that's included into the overall design. It's also electrically powered and has STI floor mats. Aluminum brush STI door sills and brushed aluminum pedals are standard on the STI. The rear seats get the same treatment as the front and include a 60/40 pass, center armrest, and cup holders mounted to the floor. The center driver's gauge cluster is consisted of analog controls, or analog gauges, and on the left hand side is an analog tachometer, and on the right is your analog speedometer. You also have a fuel gauge and a coolant temperature gauge. You also have all your check engine lights, including your traction control lights off, oil pressure, and etc. Hill descent control. All that stuff is on this gauge. And in the center they have a TFT screen that goes through a couple of menu settings with your controls on the actual steering wheel itself. So starting at the top left is your average fuel consumption. And as you guys can see, if I hold down the I set menu, I can actually go through a menu list. But before I do that, I'll just show you what the standard notes are. So right now I can actually show the time I've been driving this vehicle since I purchased it or reset the last calibration. I can have a digital speedometer readout, and I can also go through the SI drive menu settings that can be controlled through the actual control knob just below the shifter itself. So right now there's an indication of a blue line for the SI drive, and if you look just below that in a box there's a letter I, and that tells you that the SI drive system is in intelligent mode. So it pretty much is in auto mode, and it'll figure out what driving characteristics the vehicle should be in. But at any time the driver can actually go through the menu and actually shift into sport, and by doing that now the I turned to an S to give you an indication that the actual all-wheel drive system is in sport. Or if you want to increase it, you can even go into S sharp, which is a sport sharp, so it really stiffens up the suspension, your driving characteristics of the car, and it gives you the full out performance of the all-wheel drive system. Now if you ever want to revert back to just intelligent, you can just press the button or press the rotary knob in on the actual floor console here, and it'll automatically throw you back into intelligent. Below that is Subaru's command center for the center differential. So the driver can also switch the center differential into a manual system instead of using the auto, and control the center differential system. So right now it's at its lowest setting, and by operating a switch that's also located in the floor console here, right beside, it's actually in the same control menu as the SI drive, you can actually increase the use of the center differential to a point where you can actually lock it into place, and that would be used for your ultimate road conditions or all-wheel drive experience. So right now I'll just leave it into automatic. Below that, or beside the I indication, there's a box that has nothing in it right now, and if I start the vehicle it'll actually show you the transmission position that I'm in right now. Currently the car is off and it's sitting in neutral to manual, so it's not showing anything right now, but if I did start up the car it would show you what gear I'm in. Now below that it says A, so that represents your trip A. Now below that is
a letter A, which represents your trip computer. So right now we've driven 7.2 kilometers under trip A, and just below that is your odometer reading. Now there's the menu settings I'm going to go through. So I'm going to hold down the I button, and I can actually go through screen settings. So under screen settings, I can actually change my welcoming message as I enter and leave the vehicle. I can change the initial movement of the gauges, so I can have it on or off. So as you guys saw it on the startup, you guys saw the gauges actually will cycle through just to give you an indication that they are working properly. You can even change the gear positioning indication. You can turn it on or off, and you can change the languages. You can even do rev settings. So you can actually have your rev indicator light turn on. So your tachometer will change colors when it's time to actually switch gears. You can always revert back to manufacturing default settings. And you can always just exit this screen and go back to the original TFT screen shown here. As for the steering wheel, starting on the left-hand side is your radio presets, volume control, and voice recognition system. You also have phone connectivity. And below that are the controls to operate the driver's gauge console that I was mentioned earlier. On the right-hand side is your cruise control settings that can be changed during driving conditions and canceled. The car also comes equipped with a center display that can be controlled by this button here. So right now it shows the outside temperature of the car, 22 degrees Celsius. Shows you your trip A, which is averaging 20.2 liters per 100 kilometers, and it shows you a digital clock. Now you can go through this menu to give you a little bit more information. So we get a little bit more information of trip A. Right now there's 0 kilometers on trip A, and it shows you the average fuel consumption as mentioned. You can also get a digital readout, so after an X amount of minutes of driving, so this scale goes from 0 to 30 minutes, it tells you your liters per 100 kilometers you're averaging. You can also get an idea of what the all-wheel drive system is doing, since it has multiple differentials, trying to keep power at all wheels without creating slip. You also have your average liters per 100 kilometers overall, and you also have the distance of fueling that's required, so pretty much how far you can go with one tank. And under this menu you also have an acceleration percentage, so it kind of tells you how much of the accelerator you're pressing at any time. And what's cool about the WRX STI, it also comes with a boost gauge. Now stock, the engine will peak out at 14.7 psi, but at any given time you can actually monitor your boost pressure under hard accelerations or downshifts, or any kind of driving characteristics going through a turn and you want to figure out what's going on. This will tell you exactly how much boost you are using at any given time. And it also gives you an indication of the accelerator percentage as well. So you can actually configure that screen as well by holding down the enter button. It accesses the menu settings. So you can change the time and date. You could change the display, so you can increase or decrease the contrast. You could turn off the screen. You could include beeps as you go through the menus. You can go through maintenance, so you could change your engine oil information, so pretty much notification dates or a certain amount of kilometers driven instead. You can program that yourself. Your oil filter is the exact same thing. Your tires, again, same concept. You can completely program the car the way you want your maintenance schedule to follow. And you can actually have a full-out maintenance schedule as well. Or you can turn on or off the maintenance system. You can clear all settings that you program if you feel that you've made a mistake in something. And you can always go back to the main screen. You can even check your driving history. So it gives you the amount of time you've driven in your trip A. It shows you how many kilometers were driven and what your average fuel consumption was. And there's several systems that you can program into the car. Car settings, audible signal. So when you put the key in, you can have your welcome screen pop up with your driver's gauge cluster, or you can have an audible sound. Hazard warning. So I'm assuming that's the clicking noise. I'm giving you an indication that your hazards are on. Defogger, you can have your defogger run for an X amount of time, so you can actually change the minutes, which is kind of neat. So normally you would just press defog and the defroster would defog your windows and everything, but you can actually program it to run for a certain amount of time. Interior lighting, you can change it. You can have your auto light sensor because this car does come with the technology package. It includes a welcome lighting system on the exterior. You also have your keyless access settings that you can go through. Oops. So driver's door unlock, you can actually change this. So right now it's programmed for drivers only, but you can program it for all doors to unlock. And now you can also go under initialize, and you can actually reset your lifetime fuel consumption. So if you just purchased the vehicle and you notice that your fuel consumption numbers are a little bit off, you can actually monitor your real-time lifetime fuel consumption from the moment you started driving the vehicle. And that's pretty much it for that screen. So the navigation system is part of Subaru Starlink system. So it has your audio system that's built in. It also has a 440 watt Harman Kardon amplifier that controls 9 speakers in the car to give you a surround sound system. So the navigation system is your basic navigation system, and because it's a new car, it's actually looking for its signal right now. So you'll notice when you first purchase the vehicle, it'll actually be looking for its proper coordinates. But it does give you live traffic views, and it gives you all your points of interest once you program it. You also have voice recognition, which I accidentally just pressed here. So you can actually press this.
Voice command, please.
And you can give a command to the car to turn to a certain channel.
Please repeat.
Cancel.
Cancel. Voice recognition mode has been canceled.
And if you don't know how to use the voice recognition system, you just saw previously there was a help button that you can press and it'll give you more information on how to use it. So you have your basic AM and FM, XM radio. The sound system is actually really decent in this car.
Open up your big brown eyes. Here's the rhythm in your...
I'm not going to crank it because it's a little bit staticky. We're in a building right now, but obviously if we're outside, it'd become crystal clear. It also has HD radio as well enabled into it. It will give you titled information once you start using the XM features. You also have AHA radio, your CD player, USB connection, Bluetooth, and you can also go through your setup menu, which we'll go through in a minute. You also have your phone connectivity settings that you can go through. And under your audio system, you can always switch back and see which channels provide HD radio settings. So to program your phone, you'd simply just click on phone, like I just did, and you can actually you can enable or disable hands-free. Where we are in Ontario right now, you can't talk with your cell phone in your hand, so you do need the hands-free enabled on vehicles. You can also turn on and off your Bluetooth, and you can even apply auto answer. You can even set up your volume settings and your Bluetooth system. Now you can also set up the actual system itself, the actual Subaru Starlink system. You can go through the Bluetooth system like I mentioned. You can even do software version, and you can do updates through the SD card. You can check language, you can change the language, you can do a system check, and you can even watch movies off of this head unit, as long as the car's in park or stationary. So under settings, you can change the skin pattern. So right now the background is black, but you can actually change it to a turquoise or a red or a blue, whichever you prefer. And it's not very much of a huge change in the screen color, but there is a bit of a slight change. You can even change the startup on the screen, so instead of showing the initialization of the Subaru Starlink and all that, you can just customize it. And it says it is necessary to install an SD card. Let's see here. install an opening screen via the SD card. So you would have to customize it yourself and figure out how to do that. You can also change the time zone settings, and you can also have it says link to day to night view. So your actual screen can be linked to your headlights, so when they turn on, it dims automatically, or the time of the day it'll dim, or you could just leave it as none and it'll stay at a certain brightness. You can always delete your personal data as well. So I already went through the Bluetooth. Now the software version just tells you what the navigation and the audio system you have, and when you go through an update, those numbers change. Your DivX, you have to register the system in order to use it. So I'm assuming that comes with the car's manual and everything and tells you how to do that. System check, so this is pretty much just your basic system check for your GPS, your parking brake if it's on or off. Currently it's on, and if the car is in reverse or not. So right now we're in neutral. You can also eject the SD card safely, so if you wish to remove this SD card to put in more software updates, by pressing this button it'll safely log itself out from the SD card, so you can remove it safely without corrupting any data. So it's a very simple system to use. You have your basic ejection for the CD player that's built into the head unit itself. You don't have to operate the touchscreen. You can just go through the audio, voice recognition, and your navigation system through here, and you can turn on and off the radio system through this control knob. Now below that is analog controls for the HVAC control system. So to turn it on, you would just turn the rotary knob, and then if you want it off, you just press the off button. You can leave it in auto settings, and you also have dual climate controls, so the dual will turn on once the passenger starts operating his or her own temperature settings. You can turn on the front and the rear defrosters, and as we mentioned earlier, you could program that timing for operation. So right now it's programmed for 15 minutes. You also have your AC recirculation, and you can actually go through the different modes of HVAC controls, and that's shown on the upper screen, which we'll show to you in a moment. So as I'm operating the HVAC control rotary knobs, this is the screen I was mentioning that shows you your HVAC controls. So it's showing you the temperature controls that I'm operating at and the fan speed. And when I go through the different modes, it shows you the different positioning that the air is blowing in. So right now I have it on face and feet, feet only, defrost and feet, and face only.
This concludes our video review. We'd like to thank Bud Subaru for providing the vehicle to us, and for more information, you can check out their website with the information provided. For more information on tuning and other specifications of the vehicles, please visit our website at www.tccrs.ca. Please subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.